Akuma no Riddle is an action suspense series based on a manga by Jun Koga. The anime though was created by Diamedea, known for their work on Squidgirl, Nokome, and a load of stuff I haven't heard of. But what I can tell you is that Akuma no Riddle is very different from anything they've made before. But without further ado, I present the anime review of Akuma no Riddle, or as it's known in English, Riddle, Story of the Devil. Akuma no Riddle is a story of the world's best assassins and the world's best assassination targets. Strange concept, isn't it? Set in the private girls' boarding school Myojo Academy, Class Black is set up for one purpose: to kill Haru Ichinose. 12 highly skilled assassins are invited to join the class in order to get the reward of anything they desire. However, not only is Haru really good at not dying, our protagonist, Tokaku Azuma, joins her side and aims to protect her. It's an interesting concept, and the tension involved is reminiscent of series such as Danganronpa, and comparison that many others have made, although I would argue that Danganronpa has a stronger mystery element. Akuma no Riddle's first 2 episodes act as a prologue, whilst each of the following 10 episodes features an assassination attempt by a different assassin. In this sense, it is episodic, with each episode being about a certain character. If you want to enjoy this show, go into it with that mindset. There is an overarching story, but it's so subtle that it can be easy to completely forget about, and it's one of the dullest parts of the show. But the worst part is definitely the ending. Whilst the last episode itself wasn't absolutely terrible, there is a certain scene that is so stupid and shoved in that it makes it hard to look back on really good episodes in the same light, purely because of that bloody ending scene. I know people who haven't even started to watch Akuma no Riddle, but know the ending's crap anyways. I won't spoil it, but the writers played it way too safe, and there is definitely such a thing as too much closure. But despite this, I will defend Akuma no Riddle to my last breath. The ending is crap, but the rest of the show makes for an enjoyable watch. But it's not really that popular. When people started watching this, they expected a very different series. Despite the genre, this is as far from Yui as you can get. The setting, whilst it might seem relatable, is actually ridiculous and unrealistic, and the assassins aren't just going to kill Haru immediately, because that would make for a shit show. Which it certainly isn't. I was pleasantly surprised by what this show had to offer, and I cannot tell you how pleased I am that I didn't just drop it after the first episode. See, I usually just review shows that I was already watching in the first place, but I didn't have enough lined up, so I picked up Akuma no Riddle again purely for a review, with my prior knowledge of the series only amounting to the genres on the Wikipedia page. There is no Yuri here, I want to get that out of the way. If there's any romantic subplot going on here, it is very subtle, as the relationship between the two protagonists can easily be put down to friendship. There is also no actual fan service. Now you're probably already typing a comment rapidly about how Akuma no Riddle is bad because there are shower scenes or because there are bath scenes, but there's a clear difference between using those scenes to drive the plot as a place for self-reflection or downtime, and using them to give Taylor something to put in his thumbnails. You may have guessed when I said that this show is episodic that it'd mean it was very character driven. Because each character is only given one episode of character development, the creators had to use different methods to get us to empathise with them. There are 3 ways we learn about the cast: through a flashback, by what they want as their reward, and strangely enough, how they fail the assassination. Each assassin is given 48 hours to try and kill Haru. Some fail by being knocked out or incapacitated, but there are others who give up after their attempt fails and walk away with good spirits. The show toys with this idea of destiny, and that's just one of the many examples of this. Do the high school assassins here really want to kill? That's a question you need to keep in your head as you watch these flashbacks. What do they want? It's something that's really effective at creating deep characters within the space of a single episode without the need for excessive dialogue and exposition. So, let's get profiling. Torkaku is the heir to a family of skilled assassins and is the protagonist of the show. Calling her cold and distant would be an understatement. She is very unsociable and quite understandably mistrusts the other members of Class Black. However, unlike the other members of the class, she has never killed anyone. So as I mentioned, instead of killing Haru, she protects her and slowly befriends her. Over time, Torkaku becomes more of a character and less of an assassin, although she was a pretty shit assassin to begin with anyway. Haru is the target here. 11 assassins, 1 target. And Haru is really good at being a target. Yeah, you heard me. Many people died trying to save her life in the past, so she now holds a great value in living, something that strongly contrasts with the other assassins' values. It isn't explained why she's the target until the last 2 episodes, but it's not overly important. The important thing is how she and Torkaku work to survive each assassination attempt. That's what the series is about. Expect anything else, and you'll be disappointed. All of the other characters also have their own backstories and personalities, but since they're the main thing the show has going for it, I'll let you watch it yourself if you decide to watch this. I had no idea who Diomedes was before I started watching Akuma no Riddle, but after seeing the brilliant stylistic lighting and the sharp character designs, I was interested in seeing what other series they produced. And it's all completely different stuff. Primarily romantic comedies, the style of animation is completely different. They have almost no experience with action at all, and I'm impressed that they pulled this off as well as they did. I think I would have been far more skeptical had I known this before. There's an impressive level of detail here, especially in the use of colour and lighting. Since a lot of the scenes take place at night, you've got a lot of low-key lighting involved here, with silhouettes, shadows and various stylistic effects. Aiding this is an impressively expansive soundtrack that's used really well, involving a variety of tense atmospheric tracks. As far as the presentation goes, you're going to have a great watch. There's nothing stand out about it, but it's consistent, something that's very valuable. Oh, and let's not forget that this series involves 12 completely different endings, some of which you've been hearing in this review. I find it hard to recommend Akuma no Riddle. Yes, I enjoyed most of the episodes. Yes, I found it enjoyable overall. But the uninteresting overarching narrative and the ending scene makes it difficult to outright say, you should watch this. But I'll say it anyways, episode 3 until 11 are absolutely brilliant and you should watch them. Just be prepared for a nosedive in quality in episode 12. I recommend Akuma no Riddle to those who like episodic series. That is the draw here. 11 assassins, 9 episodes of assassination attempts. Each of these episodes starts with an assassination declaration and ends with them leaving the class. A story that starts and wraps itself up in a single episode is something valuable and is the major draw to this series. I would also recommend it to fans of Danganronpa. Although I feel the comparison isn't as strong as many like to believe, the premises are fairly similar and they have some of the same themes. However, I would not recommend this to anyone reading the manga. Whilst the manga hasn't actually finished yet, I'd stick with that. There's a load more character development and it goes into a lot more detail than the anime rushed through. And as I've mentioned, I would not recommend this to those expecting Yuri or assassins. As far as assassins go, they are pretty bad at their job and it can get frustrating if you're expecting efficient assassinations. Also, no actual Yuri. Wasn't much in the manga either. There's subtext, but honestly it can be interpreted in so many ways that it can be easily overlooked. People just saw Yuri written on Anicha and Wikipedia and made assumptions from there. Akuma no Riddle is licensed by Funimation and Madman. If you're in the US, you can watch it on the Funimation site, and if you're in Australia, you can, like me, watch it on the free service Anime Lab. Those links are in the description. Thank you for watching the Canipa Effect. I haven't decided exactly what review I'll be doing next. It's probably going to be Soul Eater Not, but I'm not 100% sure.